from the start. 97,000 people, this place, the Motogp world champion, Marc Marquez. He will look to have surgery on that shoulder that dislocates. Oak Redding a couple of rounds ago, if you didn't see that. It was dislocated earlier on the grid. In fact, that's a stat that I can give you. Still not been off the front row 2 rows in 2018. I'm slightly jealous. He was absolutely bang on. Anybody had thought that he'd seen the tape already and it was a rerun that he was voiced. Can I draw your attention to that as well? We don't close it until later. The final of that, it's Cornfile's save at Le Mans. Man, can he convert it? Or will it be this man, his teammate, Valentino Rossi, who's coming from a long, long, long way. 67.2 miles. Maverick Viñales from qualifying 1 to pole position. Only for the Yamaha, but a better one for the Suzuki. The Suzuki blast down to turn 1. Look at that, what a start. And then looking at the inside, but it is Maverick Viñales who sticks with second place. Dobby's in third place, and it's Marc Marquez back.
And I can't believe they've all managed to get through the most difficult corner, turn 4. Rossi's got a flyer. He's already made up
place so quickly, cut his way through. This is not a track that's easy to pass, that's for sure. The big question mark for
most of the weekend in these conditions, Viñales has been around 10th place. That said, so 0-4. That looked impressive there. He was actually almost got back underneath Marc Marquez.
Pretty dramatic stuff here already, and there's
tentative on that first lap. And like you said earlier, Keith, on a MotoGP bike especially, this track is difficult to pass.
He did that a few bends ago, so the 25 of Maverick Viñales has gone back to third place now. Pole Espargaro is on the KTM today, on the number 9 machine. He's up behind these guys at the minute. That KTM, well, KTM's a 1 Moto3. KTM
very difficult for the riders, and what an advantage someone like Rins has. You're out front, Dobby in second, he's got a gap.
Look at the KTM! It just drives by. Pole Espargaro drives by Maverick Viñales. His Yamaha must be dry. It must be hooking up.
It must be, and doesn't Maverick Viñales look like a man who's
started Moto3, is the great leveller, and it gets no better on a tight little go-kart. Is shocking the world.
This is going to go wrong.
Marquez is on hot through there, actually. Yes, I thought. Oh, hang on. Yes, that is Aleix Espargaro that's down on the deck. Of course, we're in the red
compound. Everybody else is on the soft. There's a lot of lying water. You would obviously think he's made a mistake.
That he'd gone out on the medium. It's a bit harder. He's on the brakes. He's underneath. Pole Espargaro, that's going to be a bit of a... He's not averse to crashing, Marc Marquez. There's no doubt about that. And all the time on that Honda, he's the man that clearing water. It's about heat in the tyre. And you're right, the medium is Danilo Petrucci taking a look now on Viñales. He's going to go...
Him is his teammate. And look now.
Right there with him.
After how many laps have we done, sorry? 3.
Miller through as well. So Jack Miller goes under Maverick Viñales.
And Viñales, what must I say? He's just
going backwards.
He looks...
That is, look at it, look at it. He's on the straight already, turn 14 out onto the half-mile straight at this 2-point.
Well, he's won at Silverstone,
in the wet. Oh, yeah, he did as well. Yeah, of course he did. Give me a slap, will you?
Okay. You see, Ross's brake guard has already been bent up. That means he's had contact with somebody on his way through.
Down on the Pramac bike. He's looking forward to the 2019 machine next year. We're testing that on Tuesday. Pop. Now look at it at Valencia. It's leading the Grand Prix by 3.8 seconds over the Ducati. And then bikes that he's feeling really good on. The only way you ride great in this kind of weather condition is if you have that motorbike
through the tyres. Not always good on hot, greasy conditions, but in cold, wet conditions. It
looked like it went back in quite as easily yesterday. He had to... go up into the hospitality unit of the truck, having made his way on what's going on in there. The amount of hard work that goes on behind the scenes, you can only imagine the hard work. Here he is, Marquez versus 44 of Pole Espargaro. Look at the way it turned in on him and up onto the...
Be the only rider to put the medium tyre in. You can see the problems he's having.
That Honda looks really, really lively. 0.2 seconds.
Yep.
Neil, 4.2 seconds.
Lap.
Here we go. Look at the KTM. Wasn't he? He was the one that they were going to spend the money on. Oh, the wild card, Michele Pirro has crashed out. He's been looking good throughout the week. Will be on the factory next year. Factory Ducati next year has just crashed out. Turn 13. That's quick through there. It just got light, didn't it, at the rear end?
It certainly did. And whilst all that's going on, this man is just...
All great moment while it lasted. Espargaro has taken to the dirt. He's still okay. Rossi then, and that will be his shoulder again, judging by the way he's set. Alberto Puig wanders for the tent, because every time it comes out now. Here we go then.
Oh, it's big.
Oh, that's awful. That is really going to hurt. In fact, out of the Valencian Grand Prix here, Marc Marquez, he looks like he's popped that straight back in you. Has eked into it. Dobby's now getting into a rhythm on that Ducati. The last Ducati winner here
was Sete Gibernau in 2001. There you go.
So another 7 years on or something, these tyres clear.
Yeah, something ridiculous like that. I don't know how they do it.
Bradley Smith.
I believe it's 4 litres per second. But 40 sounds better.
40 sounds better. I'm more impressed with 40.
It's place. Where did he start on the grid? Let's have a look. Morbidelli from 15th.
That's Danilo Petri as the independent team of the year. We're back with Valentino Rossi, though. The GOAT. Look at the tape coming off Rins, but I don't know whether it will make any difference to Dovi's performance. 2.9 it's down to now. Rins back to Dovi.
But in the wet, this race is going to be probably 45 minutes long. Concentration on the last lap. And you know, you can imagine what's happened. Rins is out there leading. He's not used to leading up a temperature. And whilst all that's going on, you've got the experienced old dog of Rossi just chipping away at it. Nice.
Just gone down. The Maniac is in the dirt. He goes to Aprilia next year. You won't be seeing him on another Suzuki tyres for most of the track, but it's that one river that does it just a bit too much.
Been dominated really all weekend by his teammates. And just when you think it can't get any worse.
In 6th place, Johan Zarco and the Tech 3 M1 Yamaha up behind him. They've now taken the... So Johan Zarco is carrying our 360 camera. Of course, if you've got the BT Sport app, you can log on to go. Rins is being hounded by a man who, once he gets in his rhythm, and we know how good he is in the wet.
Yet again on the last lap, half a second faster. In fact, no, he wasn't. He was. Let's see on this lap, and they're just going over the line. Rins with 17 laps to go.
We were looking at Frankie Morbidelli, the 21, coming down here into turn 1. He will be Rocco. Great helmet design again, a variation of his usual helmet design, but Zarco...
22nd on the grid, Britain's Bradley Smith is up to 8th place.
5-round Moto E Championship as well. He's going to be running the electric bike next year too. Here's Nakagami. Nakagami at the moment thinking, yeah, I think I'd rather be on the Isle of Man even than riding around Valencia.
It was the right decision not to turn
for it. I think 150 crashes is the overall record. I think we've had 148 of them, and this isn't over yet. He's one on, and they've still got over half a mile straight as we get to Jorge Lorenzo.
And due to his bad wrist, he doesn't want to crash.
Well, it's good exercise for his wrist, of course, but he's got Tuesday with the suspect arm, so he's perfectly okay. And
shoulder, keep your eye on that.
He was lucky.
It's that overextension when it goes high, it just literally pops it straight out. He's out now.
She's out.
Here's
of
Rins.
The final round. Alex Rins then, he had a 2-second
lead. Third in the
world title. Yeah, world championship, sorry.
That's all right, but that's what we've been talking about all week.
Yeah, lucky to get away and walk away from that. This is going to look scary. Let's listen.
And so unlike...
but look at this now. Valentino Rossi up in the podium and right on... A Valentino Rossi win, anybody? Well, Dovi has gone at the pace he's gone at. He's about the maximum that Ducati, because he is a machine and a bit of a professor.
What that means for the riders is you can't ride over your limit. If you keep your head...
There's more. At that. He absolutely works hard. Look how much Rossi runs in at him. Over the top of 13, into 14. The front 3, this is your podium, if they all stay on.
I'd love to see what happened then, because either that
Yamaha's up, but the Yamaha just doesn't give the traction.
Yeah.
If they swap ends, if the front end's not good, the back end is. With Paul Espargaro having crashed out, teammate Bradley Smith has gone out after a good ride from him.
And Rossi's making all the time on corner entry, which is a risky thing to do.
Which just goes to what I said a moment. Has gone from 1st to 3rd. Now, has he got any comeback to that? I wonder. Again, comes it in, but he ain't going to lead it. I'll tell you what, he knows it.
Yeah,
he knows about
there's a track footed here.
Let's have a look.
There's to do.
And that, with 15 laps to go,
is not a race.
Is not quite a race.
We're going to have a restart, ladies and gentlemen.
Start. 3 laps. We've got a partial result. We can have a... Yeah, that's 3/4 race distance not completed. There it is. Race to be restarted. Thank you very much, Dorna.
Oh,
go on. Do the theme tune.
Colin's looking at us confused. Right, come on.
Another great start for the Suzuki. They did it last time. They did it this time. Looking back for the 360 camera. Back at Valentino. Whoever wins, wins. That's the end of it. There comes the KTMs. So KTMs of Paul Espargaro outside on the berm. 2 Ducatis underneath him. That's going to be tough for Zarco, there's no doubt.
He's got a great start, but he's been holding everybody up because he's clearly not prepared to push on this first lap.
One in Moto 3, then one in Moto 2, and surely they can't win in MotoGP. But anything can happen, it seems to do. Alvaro Bautista up behind the 30 of Nakagami, the 19 of Bautista. Rain still coming down, but it's not very expected that. Now we know Dovi's quick. We know that Ducati's good in the wet. It's never been successful here though. Not
just lacks that little bit of power, and you saw the Ducati just eat it up on the straight.
It also hooks up real well, and in these conditions the balance is everything. Dobby has it at the moment out front from Rins. Rins though has plenty of standing water here. This is not ideal conditions still. We've had that red flag, we've had the rerun, it's full.
That he's not going to be just sit round prepared to, I'll just take another second place.
Still a remarkable fight from the back of the grid. Cyrene, Lorenzo, Redding, Bradl, Abraham and Torres are the remaining of the 16. Look at
you can, but he's obviously, there's been plenty of wet sessions, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, we could have said that about Martin. You're not too late because this is a straight race to the finish. We've had a red flag. Not in this race will be, and we have a 14-lap race, straight race to the end for the Valencian Grand Prix. And those Pol Espargaro in 4th place as well. Very, very wet. They're shifting a lot of water here. Rins is gaining in, but of course we had Maverick Vinales, who was superb on the Suzuki as well and gave us that win at Silverstone. He just left himself a little wide there, and the through back has come. Pol Espargaro, once the darling of Yamaha, now 2.4 miles per lap, I should say, to get it accurate. Look at that front end again. When he asked for a bit of gas coming out the turn, the balance of the thing just seems to spin a bit at the back. That can be very slightly because he went for the front. Wants a clear view of things, of course. He's not getting all that muck slung in his face.
Over the years, it's a very difficult track to overtake on, especially if you've got a bike that hooks up and accelerates.
Concentrate on hitting your marks when you can hardly see them. Valentino Rossi out a little wide, staying away from that white line stand. Looks like he's asleep. Andrea Dovizioso, remarkable guy. Saw him at breakfast this morning.
He's the same. If he's had a terrible race, he's the same. He's just a level, mature, absolute
the season. That intelligent win in Argentina earlier on in the year. So Cal is our moment of the season. More about pace as this place gets a little bit wetter by the minute. Still the rain is coming. It's lighter than it was.
I'm just concerned Rossi's going to try and make it all on the brakes because that's what he's having to do. The problem is, eventually,
for these guys, they're chucking the kitchen sink at it. I can't imagine how much it's costing them. Just imagine the engineering that they've got to ram. He's, what, over half a second faster than everyone else. Pretty impressive stuff.
That's incredible.
Valencia, it's not been that great in recent years, but Andrea Dovizioso is looking for this race. 9 wins that Marc Marquez has had to be champion. Round 19, as we look back at a resurgent.
Important, but it's also important what he said. They've got now Pol Espargaro back, who's fit. I mean, so anyway, he's fit now, and they're certainly looking forward to next year. Obviously, getting Johan Zarco.
Well, we're going to see quite a lot of Lorenzo, aren't we? Because he's going to be at our end of season party. So 9.8, 299.8.
Yeah,
exactly
close.
Equal.
Well, we saw in qualifying. In qualifying,
hasn't he? He's just got that confidence in the front end. Valentino Rossi. Now then, has Rossi got the ritter the old goat's made of? 39 years old. Sodden soaking through for Rins, but there's no doubt about it. This is the man that many young
really good on the second half of the track, where you've got the acceleration points out of slow corners, twisty corners.
Okay, the gap 1.9 at the line. It said 1.7 on the board.
Sections. He should close the gap on Dobby. The problem is the last 2 sections, Dobby stretches it.
Wadici, Michele Pirro. This is how he did. Oh, that's a great move. That's pretty brave in the circumstances.
It's very brave.
But Dobby, 1.9 at the line last time. I wonder what it's going to be next time we hit it. Dovizioso looking.
Manages to squeeze it out.
You rarely, I should say, see an ideal lap from one motorbike measure. Absolutely incredible. Look at the eyes on Dovizioso. Looks like he's concentrating a bit.
Just a bit. And all you're doing at
the 2.4.
Yeah.
That is not down to Dobby. That is. Oh, down has gone Alvaro Bautista. So, turn 12. We've seen that all weekend, haven't we?
Probably seen 30, maybe more. 40 crashes there over the weekend.
Dovizioso found an extra half a second in that last lap. He might have, but I doubt it.
No, it was
event of the year. 5 laps to go. Coming up, Dovizioso leads. Espargaro, a fantastic 4th place for the KTM. So, Espargaro 9th. That's great in front of Happy Cyrene. Stefan Bradl in for Cal Crutchlow 11th, Redding, Lorenzo.
That Ducati key are so good. We've talked about it all year, but in these conditions, that's when they come into the
Pit Vira. You got a quick look at Pit Vira there, and got to say a 4th place for KTM is going to be a special. Came through the Tech 3 team, looked brilliant at Tech 3.
Yeah, I mean, he was incredible in Moto 2, wasn't he?
They dropped Yamaha for the first time in, what, 20 odd years that Hervé Poncharal and Guy Coulon have been with Yamaha.
A lot of information is the most important. Oh,
someone's down! It's Rossi! Rossi's down in the dirt. Valentino used to go down there a minute ago. Now it's Valentino Rossi. Talk us through it.
Well, you just tip in. I bet the rear comes round on him.
Race, he's going to rejoin, of course. He will get points because there's only 15 riders out there at the moment, but that does podiums if he can make it to the end. Keep your head, Paul Espargaro. Michele Pirro is closing it if he can.
A podium, I'm pretty sure he hasn't, in MotoGP, and he's 2 seconds behind with 4 laps to go.
Michele Pirro, and he was a winner here in Moto2 in 2011. Just to give you Michele Pirro.
About that.
Michele,
yes,
racetrack, winner in Moto2 2011.
But it's been, let's be honest, let's be straight about this, it's been a disastrous, but what a way to finish it, get their first ever MotoGP podium.
Problem you have here, it's all to keep the right temperature in them, because that's your biggest danger.
You're right.
Over moving water.
And it's funny you say that last lap
has basically stopped. Andrea Dovizioso is going to get to the end. We have 2 and a bit laps. Second place for him will be the best of the year. Absolutely fantastic to end, but he's got himself sorted. He's back next year, of course, with Suzuki.
And wasn't before.
So you know now he found himself again getting the flick. He goes to Aprilia next year. 2 laps to go. The suffered some unfortunate crash. Likewise, the man in 3rd place. Paul Espargaro still in that podium finishing position. KTM's was Bradley Smith, who's down in 8th place on the KTM in this second rerun.
And Bradley's in
over Vinales, who was closing in on him. There was only 2 points between the two. Oh, hang on. Oh, dear me. So Valentino Rossi's got that. It just looked like he was aquaplaning slightly. You don't want to be on that paint. That scares you when you go out.
Who? Rossi. Yeah, Rossi's 13. It was closing in on Jorge Lorenzo.
Leads by 5.7 seconds from Paul Espargaro. Has 1.8 seconds back to Michele Pirro. Mike Light in Valencia for Ducati will be very special indeed. It's been 10 years since we've Valencia. Just got to hold it together. Keep out of the puddles. Keep off of the paint.
Grand Prix almost won that title as well, and it is this consistent, immaculate style.
Out of the final chicane, over the line. He's almost there now. Andrea Dovizioso then has a short line. Andrea Dovizioso wins the Grand Prix of Valencia from the Suzuki of Alex Rins project as well. Pirro comes across. He's a wild card on the 2018 Desmos Adichie in 4th. Bradley Smith, after pushing the bike back out of the sandpit in the first part of today's race, gets 8, fell off a little earlier on, has remounted, and that for me still marks that it's the measure of the man. His
place, finish there, that's his best result of the year. So we'll be pleased with that. What a way to sign out all round, hasn't it?